Hi. Okay, so what episode is this?
5.
5? Is it 5? Okay, so episode 5. Say 5. Once we get after 10, I'm not going to be able to, like, welcome to our channel is oh my God.
Oh, your idea. How I remember all this. I don't even pay attention.
Our Unscripted Moments.
The dog's coming back again.
I know, every time, like, come here. Hey, okay, so this is going to be like a thing now. The cinnamon comes up here. Hi, Cinnamon. Every time we're recording now. This is her thing.
65 pounds of muscle.
Yeah, basically.
Cut of missile, a.k.a.
That will be a t-shirt soon. So go to our website, which is actually toastycandy.com. Support the channel.
No, we did not chop our people's tail. We will never chop or trim her ears or tail. She be all natural, huh, girl? All natural.
That's why she thinks she's a lap puppy. He's like, girl, you are 65 pounds of muscle.
She probably heavier now.
Yeah, probably.
Not to call you fat. I'm not.
Well, look at how she like turned and was like.
But it's been hot out here, and you ain't been walking every day.
Yeah, I was gonna say just like real quick with this because since Cinnamon popped up, she's our third dog. 2 years ago, unfortunately, our dog Roxy passed away, and then literally a month and a half ago, our other dog, which was our first puppy, Briggs, had passed away. So now we have Cinnamon. It's a heartbreak. It's been challenging.
Third time's the last time.
Yeah.
I'm not an emotional person. Well, no, this gets way too emotional with puppy love.
That's so it's.
I wouldn't put up there with my children, but I would definitely
Yeah.
say there's a lot of emotional.
For anyone who's out there dealing with family pets that pass away, my hearts go out to you because I know pets are family. So you would wish they could live forever.
So on a less happier note,
No.
we was going from dog dying to what we were possibly talking about off camera was like
What should we talk about this time around?
like our arguments from when we first started dating to how and if our arguments have matured a little bit more 17 years later.
I would like to start off and say I would like to think that our arguments have matured from when we first started dating because I feel like when we were in our 20s, both of us hot-headed and tempered and would just say things to be petty and at least this coming from my perspective.
I said shit to be petty. From our last update about Filipino novellas continues on to episode 5. Putang ina mo.
That's probably going to get leaked out because
Man, they don't even. I'm just saying.
Anyways, okay, so I will own that I used to say petty things just to be hurtful or just to be spiteful. I always do like this. I don't know, like I've never been.
The dull spoon?
Oh, I was thinking of
The
like
shank?
it's that stabby thing that they make in jail. That's my motion for being like petty. Like you're trying to like the spoon under the, I guess my imaginary knife. I don't know. So I would like to think, for at least from my perspective, I've matured with our arguments because I feel like I definitely, even after becoming a mom, I've developed a lot of patience. I used to have patience before, but now I feel like I've gotten more patient. So I learned to be patient in listening to what his perspective is versus before it was just like, okay, he's saying this, I'm going to go ahead and this is my response.
A step further because like first you didn't understand, or I think it's safe to say you took it as a sign of disrespect or not honoring or cherishing you as a person. When you and I would get in those heated arguments and I would just walk away. I'm like, man, I just need you to leave me be. And I'd literally walk. And you would rot. Like, you would just.
I would be that crazy girlfriend.
I would say crazy. I'd rephrase that. No, that's not doing you justice. And I'm not saying it was worse than. I'm saying it was less than. It would emotionally impact you more that I would walk away to calm down than to just have it out with you in that moment when we were first learning who we are as people then in our 20s.
Which is funny because I think now that's rubbed off on me because like now when I get into confrontation, I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to hear it. I now like, not necessarily with him, like I'm saying even like with any kind of confrontation or arguments or drama or anything, I'm just like, F it, I'm out. I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to deal with this.
Let me calm down and regather
I'm
myself.
leaving. I'm out. Let me replay all of this in my head and analyze this and then come back at you because like right now I don't want to deal with it. So I think that's rubbed off on me because that's not how I was before. And I think now I'm more of, okay, let me just take my time. Let me analyze what was said. Let me listen. Let me be
Let me speak clearly
in
and
a
listen thoroughly.
in a calm voice,
Yeah.
because I used to match people's. If you threw at me, I would match more back.
And way more animated.
Okay.
Yeah, I would then, not to exaggerate, I would say you would over animate your actions to where you make fun of my Italian tendencies with talking my hand, and you would go straight anime manga.
But I feel like now that anyways, it just made me like think of like the refrigerators that dress up in cosplay and Kakashi. But anyway, now I think when it comes to any kind of confrontations or when we have arguments or just even confrontations or disagreements that I have with people in general, I am more centered with my peace to listen and what the disagreement I'm having with this capybara over here or with a person in front of me.
I think you just unofficially gave me the name. Some of your other ladies you watch on YouTube that are husbands, they don't have their names. They're just a name. So I'm just the capybara versus the voice.
No, voice doesn't sound cute. The voice sounds like, here is
you
the
think capybaras are cute? Thank you. I'll take that compliment.
I need to look at the animals again. Maybe I forgot what they look like. So
you see it every day. Animals that don't give.
I'm at the point in my life now, and I think I've had experience enough where it's my peace is too expensive for other people's dramas. I hope that makes sense. I remember hearing that phrase somewhere and I really liked it. I'm protecting my peace. I'm protecting my heart. I'm protecting my genuine self.
Yeah, to invest that kind of energy into an argument is not an investment. It's a loss of time. It's a loss of energy. And the outcome is you gain nothing from it at that level.
Because there's no point for me to match that person's negativity and their energy if they're going to be like all up in my face and have an attitude. What's the point of me matching that? I think it's more, for me, I feel like it's more of a disrespect to them and more of, hey, I'm more in control of my emotions. Obviously, you're acting crazy and not in control of yours. If I'm just going to be peaceful, let me listen. Okay, here's my point. I understand your point. If we can't agree, okay, let it be. And I feel like I do approach that with you as well. I still obviously am work in progress because there's times when we do have disagreements or what is even like when it comes to
discipline to the kids.
Yeah, I think that's one of our key things. Like
was pretty so
where I feel like we have disagreements on how we should discipline. That's something, again, that's a work in progress. That's why we're still together and we're still working at it.
For episode number 2, it's all about communication. This is why we've been together for over 17 years. This is now even your public disclosure.
That's where there's times where I will feel as though my temper will start rising with him because it's like, I don't agree with that at all. But then I do keep myself in check because there's no point for me to lose my temper and blow up at him, to him to blow up at me, and me to blow up at him again.
Or in front of the kids.
Yeah, or in front of the
really
kids.
Not good. God, we don't do that.
It's better for me to be like, okay, let me just be calm. Let me talk to him in an even keel voice and just be like, you know, that was over the top, or I don't necessarily agree with that. I'll just explain, okay, this is what I feel like the direction we should go. Obviously, as parents, we're there to protect our kids. We're there to guide our children, to help them.
Set by example.
Yeah, and so
lead by doing, force by
setting
backing
down
up what you're doing.
Yeah. So with him, when it comes to those confrontations or disagreements that we have, regardless of what the topic is, I will make sure to hear what he's saying and try to come from a place of understanding, but at the same time also properly communicate my point of view as well, so that way he understands, so that way we can come meet in the middle. I feel like a lot of times there's people that, whether if it's a significant other that they're arguing with, or family member that they're arguing with, or a friend that they're arguing with, or even at the restaurant they're arguing because the waitress missed something or whatever, is it really worth it for you to blow up and go over the top like that? Or is it better for you to be like, hey, I understand, but this is why I'm upset. This is why I'm frustrated. This is why I'm disappointed, and explain it so that way you can come to a solution. Because I'm thinking even like when you go to a restaurant and someone messes up your order and you yell at them and then you want them to fix it, you don't think they're going to spit in your food because of the way you're acting.
Well, no, here's the one you actually compliment on, because this is where I lose my, well, I want to use the word, was talking to a banker, getting transferred a billion times. There was a miscommunication and error on a payment, and You even heard the conversations. You're like, oh, those poor girls, they sound like they're having a really fat. Now he's about to lose his itch. Because normally, full disclosure, I'll lose my temper. I don't have patience for it. And that's something I'm still working on. Like you said, hey, good job on keep cool. I know how frustrated you are because you're able to recognize the change in the tone and temperament. I keep active in mind that even the stuff that you dealt with, especially with like school, I just say just bills in general, or just your last name gets mixed up, or your first name gets mixed up with your mother's name all the time. So
Yeah.
there's just a lot of stuff that you'll have to deal with. You don't want to deal with, and you show grace. And I think that's the thing I remember in our early years. I think we talked about this in episode 1.
In the trash recording. I'm keeping it up there just so people can see the difference and the improvement.
You pissed me off about something to the point like wouldn't let me walk away. So I approached you. Keep in mind, there's a huge height difference between us. She's 5'1", 5'2", depending on the humidity and temperature of the day in her hair. And if she has shoes on or she's barefoot, I was flat out 6'2". So there's a height difference. And it's always been that way. There was a point where normally I would just walk away to cool and calm down just because I just need to cool and calm down because I will pop off the mouth. I will just erupt and verbally eviscerate anybody. I don't
basically say things that are hurtful or even regretful.
And whether I mean it or not, it was a problem I've had since I was a kid as a defense mechanism, just to get you to just drop it and just back the F up. So I verbally eviscerate anybody. Care who you were. At this point in time, in a sense, I still don't care who you are. And that's not saying a good thing. I'm just saying it's something that I've recognized I'm working on since maturity and growth in arguments. And you told me when I approached you rather aggressively, which I'll admit, you later on told me, yo, I really thought you was about to hit me. I didn't know that at the time. You felt that way until you actually were calm and collect instead of being all really dramatic. And we actually had a calm conversation.
Too, because
where we both had a calm conversation, and I told you then and there, I was like, I will never put hands on you. You ever feel that level of threat by me again? I don't care how scared you are of me. Cuss me the out. Tell me to knock it off. Tell me that I've gone beyond the limit, because as soon as I hear that I know is a key phrase that, yo, I effed up. I had no right or should not have even got close to that. And we've never had that problem ever again. Just never gotten to the point. And then you started asking me like, why do you walk away? Why don't you finish it? It's not like saying you weren't calling me like not a man, but it was almost like, if you're such a man, you could handle a little thing. You were a little. 2 kids later, it's a whole other story.
Working on it. Work in progress.
Point is, you're like, you can't handle me, and yet you work in this industry and deal with monsters all day long, but you can't handle me. And when I explain it to you,
that was a whole firecracker.
No, 100%, 100%, super attractive. It was beautiful. That Neo slot, you're mad. Yeah. 17 years, I can say that. We got old, fat, and goofy together. I'm going to bleep that. But when we had that conversation, that's the point. The argument started to trend from there. There was one recurring argument that always sparked everything that dealt with your past, and it became an annual thing. It started off as almost a monthly thing and almost ended our relationship. I'm not getting into what it was. It's irrelevant at this point.
Yeah.
Then once we started talking through it, I wouldn't stop reiterating when I was reiterating, saying, yo, you need to knock this. All this is causing more damage than it's doing good. Get it. Family history, family baggage, XYZ is causing this. This is not relevant. Then that started drilling down to probably like once every 6 months. Then by the time we got past the 5-year mark, going back to our initial conversations, we really didn't have that. And maybe one time it popped up after that, and it was just like,
I was able to communicate it like how I felt a little bit better than when we first started. And so because it had been so many years that I didn't have that same insecurity or like same issue come up. It was more, okay, you understood, you recognized it, and then we basically worked through it and it was like, okay, we're on to the next.
And I think that also goes with some of the arguments, just like where you irritate me or I irritate you. Like the other one, you made a comment about parenting style. It was in the way that I carry the phrase, I'm your father, not your best friend. And you were trying to had me look at it from a point of view. Yes, it irritated the hell out of me that you were commenting and critiquing something as I, as a father in this household, take very seriously. But now, instead of just popping off, I'm like, shut up, listen first, and see where she's coming from.
Yeah, because it's important, at least for the parenting. Now we're going to like parenting topics. It's also still coming up to the point of like when it comes to our daughters, because they're getting older now. They're able to communicate a little bit better. We're trying to give them the confidence in themselves to be able to communicate with us when sometimes we're going to be wrong. And so it's like, I want them to be able to have that conversation and be open with us when they're feeling a certain way, or they're like,
that's what it was. Because our oldest was scared to talk to me about it because I told about, I'm not your friend, I'm your father. And you're like, babe, she's not going to talk to you
yeah,
if you come with this ferocity, even though you're not, you know what I could be ferocious. But when she's seeing it, she doesn't know what used to be. She sees it now. It's her fun. That's still, oh my gosh.
yeah,
And you're like, this is what I'm seeing.
yeah,
This is the reaction you're not seeing in that moment.
yeah.
And it irritated the hell out of me. But the growth of the conversation is you're seeing it from intent as being the father to your children and being your husband who you want to be a parent. Not saying that I'm not. You want us to both be better parents.
Again, we're always going to be a work in progress. There's this plug for a future book possibly, but applaud perfection. And
I like that. Applaud perfection.
That's something that we're always going to be a work in progress. We're always going to be learning. As the girls grow and they start having different challenges and stuff, I want them to be able to come to us and be open enough to be like, hey, this is how I'm feeling. Hey, this is what I'm struggling with. Or, hey, this is the challenges I'm having. Hey, this is my wins. Here's my losses, or things like that. So I want it not to necessarily be like, oh, we're best friends, let's go shopping together, which is still be like, hey, let's go shopping.
No, but I remind you, I'll get you on sometimes with the same arguments.
Yeah.
You're trying to be a little bit too much
best friendy
versus mom. This is why they're not responding the way you want them in times where they should be responding differently.
And again, work in progress. But like when it comes to us back then, when we first dated in arguments, to us now, I feel like that communication still is super key. And it's still something that we're working on even till now.
Once you understood why I walk away to collect myself is so I wouldn't eviscerate anybody, because as a young kid, it was trying to protect my personal space. My personal space was never protected because I had nobody to protect me. Just like with you, when you would pop off and just become a firecracker, because nobody would listen to you when you're calm or listen within reason. You're talking with intelligence, facts, and factual based conversation. They would only listen in, unfortunately, react in the wrong way when you would give them what they're expecting. And you're like, this is stupid. This is why you would get in so much trouble when you was a kid, according to your kid, because you would argue with common sense and be calm and just straight up like no emotion, straight dead face on them.
Also, it was like one of those
well, no, Dad, entirely, it's not that way.
No, my word was
technically.
Yeah, I was gonna say technically was my word.
With what you're saying, this is what happened. And I mean, you will get so much trouble according to your dad.
I'll give an example, because it'll be like something like, okay, I'm supposed to be home at midnight. I'm in the door, and my dad will be like, you're supposed to be home at midnight. And I'm like, but technically it's 11:59. And now that I'm a parent, I can see how annoying that would be. I'll be like, okay. And so I've called my dad. I've apologized and said, hey, he laughs at me now. And they're like, hey, technically I am very sorry.
But I think that's the thing, that to go back to the conversations of our arguments maturing, it's not that we don't have arguments anymore. I think it'd be foolish not to have an argument. But I think it's also foolish to just argue.
Yeah, just to
be vindictive, because there are times where you'll go off on stuff. And I told you last night, I was just like, with the discipline, with our oldest, I was, yeah, geez, even I'm like, shut the F up.
Because, okay, so I'll give a little bit background on it, because I'm going to wrap this up here shortly. But so growing up, Dad's a military guy, and I was the eldest. I always had a lot of responsibility on my shoulders. And anytime I would do something wrong, or if my dad felt like he had to have a teaching moment, it'd be these long freaking lectures about there's bad people out there.
How can you say the same thing 63 times?
And I remember as a child, I hated that because it's like, okay, dude, I get it.
Especially when you retained it the first 5 minutes.
Yes,
Yes.
because see, okay, I'm not saying I'm the smartest cookie in the cookie jar or whatever that phrase is, or crayon in the box, or whatever. I pick up things for the most part fairly quickly as I get older, slowly change. But I pick up things fairly quickly, and my dad would take these like freaking. It was probably like 30 minutes long. It felt of lecturing me on something.
You're starting to do it right now.
And
You already said lecture twice, and you're starting to dwindle on it. So the point being,
I do the same thing to my daughter, and I'm like, I'm catching myself in the middle of doing it, like saying things, same things over and over,
But-
and then rephrasing it. Hi, Cinnamon.
the difference is that our daughter has a harder time trying to retain it because she's so distracted because all she knows is that she's just stuck here in the conversation. And I made the gesture away from her children to Teresa. Was like, hey, I get why you had to do it, but even I was like, dude, shut the F up. That was just overkill.
Because I'd say something literally 5 different ways, different vocabulary, different term, different sentence structures, just to make sure she got the point.
Yeah.
And it's like,
I would even say when our eldest was first born, when I did have some kind of conversation like that, you almost took it as I was attacking your way of parenting. And even still, we talked through it. And again, the key thing is, even with the arguments, no matter how little, how big, if you don't understand why you're arguing and you don't understand how to communicate through that argument and how to adjust it afterwards, like you don't apply no lessons, you're not going in the right direction. I'm not saying you're doing, I'm just saying you're not going in the right direction because you're just going to create more arguments. But if I know for a fact that, hey, I need to look at her in her eyes when she's talking, I was just saying, that drives her up the wall. I need to go ahead and literally stop doing what I'm doing, turn around just so she knows she's acknowledged. It sucks and it annoys the out of me.
till this day.
But because I know that, I also know in the back of my head, hey, dummy, shut the up. She's going to tell you. And then you're pretty much already going to know what she's going to say at this point. Just acknowledge it. And if it's not what you think it's going to say, good, you'll listen. That's all she's asking you to do. And that's my point why I make it sound so silly. Because for me as her husband, it's just, hey, dummy, she might say something different. And then if I'm like, if it's something astronomically stupid, then I'm like, really, this is what you're calling me out on? I'm now to the mature point of, okay, what exactly about the situation you called me out on? Because we've talked about this before. And then I could ask that in return. Sometimes it still leads to a little bit more of a heated conversation. But then a day later, it's like, hey, you dug at it. I know you're calmer now, but just hear me out on this real quick. I'll shut the up and listen. Or I'll come to her and be like, yo, like, at this level,
You're over the top.
a bit. And I'm not trying to say it wasn't just, and see, that's where it's like, for me, I understand her now because we've had these conversations now for 17 years, but we kept trying, even in the most uncomfortable situations, because now I can tell her, I get where you're coming from, and I'm not saying it's not justified, but I'm saying the energy it went nowhere to get the result you're trying to accomplish, be it with our relationship, be it in general, be it with work, be it with our children. And then she's cool. So the fact that we could do that with each other doesn't mean, oh, we don't have a problem with each other. No, there's still times where like, man, get out of my personal space.
You'll also be in his face.
I don't want to be near me. And then she'll put her face in my face.
Like literally, like in the face. Like,
Just to remind
in the
me,
face.
I don't care that I love you, but I respect you after I annoy you. And that's fine
And then
too.
he'll laugh, and then he'll be like, okay.
And I think that's another one where arguments have matured because, again, the foundation of the communication between the two. Okay, when he says he has to walk away, he's at his limits. And then she'll go tell the kids, leave your father alone. They may be butthurt, they may not be happy, but she knows when he comes back, it'll be as if nothing never happened.
Yeah.
Because I don't dwell on it. That's how I get over it. To where it's like with her, all right, stop. Like I think it was the other video we were talking about in 4. You were crying about something. So it was 3 because of not working and the whole job loss, everything you feel like is a failure. And normally where I just make a goofy joke or say something stupid or, oh, get that mushy crap away from me. I just stopped, walked up to you, hugged the crap out of you, said, you are doing fine. It'll be okay. And then literally your psycho brain was like, okay, acknowledge love, feel good, better, and back to shiny sparkling.
Yeah, because I was like, oh crap, I left the water on. I gotta wash my face. Literally, while I was like tears streaming down my eye.
And that's because all the years we've talked about the most uncomfortable word. I don't like dealing with emotions, especially at that level.
Yeah.
Like, I'd be awkward if you cry at a freaking funeral. I'm just the type to like, bottle emotions, cram it down, just doesn't come up. It's just how I am. Not saying it's healthy, and because you understand that, you're like, yeah, that's a powder keg waiting to go.
Yeah. That's one
Which
thing.
you help with, by the way. Not in a battle. You help to de-escalate that.
Because I've
that
unfortunately dealt with so many people in my life where they just bottle things in and then they wait and fester that. Again, that I've mentioned this in a previous video, like they fester on that hatred and that anger towards either me or towards another person or whatever situation it may be. And they hold on to that. And then once myself or somebody else or whatever makes one tiny little mistake or they're unhappy with something, they release all that hatred and anger towards that person. And
just
so,
mine's not hatred and anger, mine's just frustration. Old grumpy man.
But holding on to that negativity regardless of what those feelings are. And so that's one thing I try to help with my daughters. It's okay, if you guys are feeling frustrated about something, whether it's like homework or if you're getting frustrated with the kung fu or something, or like with the kicks or whatever's, don't hold it in or say, oh, I'm going to make, like my youngest, well, she's right now in a phase where she's like afraid that she's going to make mistakes and she's, I don't want to try it. No, let's work it out. Let's work it through. And that's, I guess, my advice, my 2 cents to people. It's don't hold things in. If something bothers you, if someone did something towards you, or like you don't like the way they act or the way they talk to you or the way something, don't bottle it in. If you want to hold it in and you don't want to explode at that moment, don't hold it in and keep piling ish on.
There be times where it's like, you want to say something in that moment, but you read the room, you know where I'm at, or you know what my behavior or my mood is at that point. And you'll hold off like a day or two, and then you'll say, hey, don't get mad. But
yeah, but revisit that moment and just be like, okay, here now that everyone's, even emotionally, I didn't feel like I was respected, or I didn't like how you're doing this, because
when you talk to this family member, your whole dynamic changed in his household. You didn't say it at that time. You waited a couple days.
Because I also waited a couple days because I was like, okay, before I just present all this information and make it seem like I'm crazy, let me see what I'm saying actually is factual. Let me see it first. Let me get some evidence.
And honestly, that's another maturity between our arguments.
Instead of just being like, oh my God, when you talk to this person, you're acting crazy like this, and being like, oh,
why would tell you about family? Who are you to tell my family? You better battle.
So it's like one of those things where it's like, instead of just verbally vomiting or verbally attacking or having him being my verbal punching bag, I was like, no, let me.
Or if it's with your martial arts. Yes, I get used.
Oh my gosh. But I waited because I was like, before I just go out and say this, let me see to make sure what I'm saying is true. And I waited and I noticed a pattern, and I brought it up saying, hey, every time, whether it was phone, text, or even worse, in person, you saw this family member, your attitude always went from good to or from
now you're gonna meow yourself.
I just fine. I'll put poop.
Piggy poop. But no, but that's the thing, and like maturity on my part to that, even though it still annoys that out of me that you bring that up.
Yeah.
I can't refute it. I'm like,
because then you actually saw it. Because then I was like, okay, look at when every time you text that person, or when you spoke to that person on the phone, or when you saw that person, internally look at yourself. Like, how did you feel, or how did you start acting right after?
Because I think at first I took it as, man, this is a I told you so moment, which I absolutely hate. Like, then I started realizing you're not doing I told you so moment. You're like, no,
this is what I'm seeing.
Look at what the outcome is out on 2 days ago. How are you feeling?
Because how are you acting? It's a ripple effect, unfortunately. And so credit to you, you were able to take that criticism or those facts and didn't take offense to it. You initially did take a little bit of offense to it, but then you reflected.
Still annoys me, but get where it's coming from. Because it's facts.
Yeah.
So matter of truth.
You reflected on it, and then you made the adjustment.
And that was the key thing. I choose to be committed to you, not because I'm married, because I choose to be committed to you. You can say, okay, cool. I need to hit him with a little bit more facts. You hit him with facts, he's not going to be upset about it. He might be annoyed, but just like most things, he gets over and moves on, but he corrects the action. Just like with you, you don't flare out anymore. You're more calm, chill, collect. Do you give me side eye? And I go, okay, I'm here to limits now, but we have a side eye. And then, or you'll come back a couple days later and be like, hey, now that you're calm, I need your attention real quick.
Yeah.
You say this, but you do this.
Yeah.
You are trying to mean this, but this is how it came out.
Yeah.
Which is
Again, it's that communication part. It's one thing to get your point across and speak, and then also obviously express your feelings, but at the same time listening and in being aware. And give an example. I don't have a specific one, but like you'll say something, like you said, you'll say something, but then your actions are like not matching what you're saying.
But then my thought process, because the way I'm
It's supposed to, it's basically the bridge between the two, but then we're not.
But you
mind
can't.
readers.
You don't know what my thought
Yeah,
process
like
is.
we're not mind readers. Like all the women in this house, including the dog, because there's no other male, because their dog who was a male, it was probably Bakla. He passed away, so he's in
Buckle Up means that was the last episode.
culture.
Go look at our episode 4, cultural managers. It's again. It's the stuff that I'll apply that doesn't make sense because in the moment I'm trying to communicate at the same time. I'm trying to like also think through, which just doesn't really work out well. She can apply that instead of being annoyed with it. Instead of looking at it as, God, he's on his idiot role again. She's like, yeah, it's annoying. I have to wait a couple days till he calms down, so he'll just chill the F out. But I'm going to follow up with this conversation because this doesn't, I think I know where he's going. But unless he gets it and I get it, there's still this unknown. And that's where she's applied her growth in our arguments. We're going to find some resolve, and I'm going to ask you when you're in a better headspace. And she's been really great about that. Where most people like, oh, F it, I'm going to move on. The problem is it doesn't get corrected if I don't know.
Yeah, and that's the key thing is like I cannot stand when people hold on to things. And if I'm doing something wrong to offend you, or if I'm doing something that you don't like or your precious feelings are getting hurt, tell me about it. Don't just hold it in and then don't allow me to correct it because I'm going to keep doing it.
It takes everybody listening.
If you don't give them the opportunity to correct it, then you obviously didn't cherish that relationship.
And some people can take it one way or another, but it just needs gap. You're the type of person that you're just like, if I don't care, then in a sense, maybe that relationship with that individual, be friend, family, spouse, child, wasn't, they sound cold-blooded, but for us, that's not going to fly in this house.
Yeah.
And that leads back into our early conversations that started this whole conversation on this YouTube stuff. It's like, how are we in this modern age, studying 17 years, when a good portion of people around us, with the handful that are not under this category, love them for it, and I think they do the same practices, but why are relationships ending so fast? Like, why is it most people can't get past 5 years? And I'm not even talking married. I'm just talking just living together for 5 years. And I'm like,
and it always ends up breaking down at some point.
And what we always find out is, oh, she said this, or I didn't know this about him, or nah, they was sliding out, or I didn't know how to talk to someone because they always make me feel this way. I'm like, great, you're telling me how this. Does that person know this? Have you told this to that person?
Yeah, and that's
and
the
9
thing.
times out of 10, no. Because they wouldn't listen anyways. How do you even know?
You didn't even try.
I don't even got time to tell them. They can't figure it out right now. That's on them.
No. If you didn't try and then you just wait till they make one little mistake or something that you weren't happy with and you just basically explode at them and then just dump everything that you were upset with them about for the last umpteen years, then again, I'm just go back to the same point. You didn't cherish that relationship or you didn't care about that person because you didn't allow them to fix or correct their behavior and you allowed it. And then you just waited to this moment to have power over them or whatever you were feeling in that moment.
And you call us both out. We used to be that way. We were just like, man, why do I always got to do it?
Yeah.
It goes back to if you don't do it, then who will?
Yeah.
And like same thing, like I have a situation with a childhood friend of mine. Yes, I still call him friend. He may not look at it right now, but I'm not closing the chapter on that. Door is open, but I'm reaching out because I made several attempts.
And that's the thing is the attempts aren't made.
It's frustrating for me. And then I counsel with others that are aware of the situation and they're like, not necessarily validating it, nor are they dismissing it or just being a listening ear. And that there provides some kind of clarity. It's okay. I'm not saying it's not me and I'm not saying it's that person, but in all aspects of this situation, I tried. I did what I could. The door's open, not closed, because there's nothing vicious or addictive about it. If anything, childish and stupid on both our parts.
You know what? You're going to laugh at me. I think that's the difference between February Pisces and March Pisces.
We're going to make sure the
No.
doors are never going to get fixed. That's
No, because I feel
BS
like
argument.
once the door's closed for me, I'm like, that door is being cemented. It's being deadlocked. I'm like, it's closed, unfortunately. You're going to have to find the window.
My point is that even with that argument, even you were mentally frustrated with it because it side impacted you. It did involve you, but not directly,
Yeah.
and you know where it was coming from. It was
Right.
not intended to be as such, but the fact it was said
Yeah.
is what was said.
Yep.
Others involved stood by it idly, where maybe they should not have.
Right.
And when it was all said and done, I could have just been like, man, F it. And I'm not. I'm just like, yo, doors open. They never come through that threshold. Hey, I don't take offense to it.
Right.
That's the way it needs to be. I'm good because
Yeah,
that means
that sense of peace.
because I'm not gonna dwell on that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna hold that in anymore.
There's no point.
But a lot of people
Yeah.
do though.
And again, if you don't tell the person that they're hurting your precious feelings, how are they supposed to correct it? And
if
they're off living their life and they're off moving on to the next goal in their life, and then you're sitting here festering. And then it's, for me, that's such a waste of time, waste of energy, when you should be saying, hey, you make me feel this way whenever, whatever, so you do this, this is how I feel. I'd be like, oh, hey, sorry, I didn't know I was doing that. Oh, let me correct it. So that way we can still move forward and we can
or
learn
you can
how.
say, well, it's all allegations, what I'm trying to deal with.
Yeah.
Okay, this
Again,
may not be compatible, but at least the communication is there.
But again, it's bottom line is just protecting your peace. And that is my huge thing, is protecting my peace, where I'm not letting other people's drama try to pay for my peace, because my peace is too expensive.
And I think that's definitely where our arguments have been sharp. Even in this household, we're trying to protect our peace. And there have been some real stressful moments recently, because if you want to look at biblical terms, the devil will mess with you when you're at your lowest, when you're most vulnerable,
Yes.
when you're at your least protected.
Yeah.
And
it always attacks the family.
And-
always tries to break up the family, whether if it's they're the children, they're the wife, they're the husband,
the in-laws, to the family.
Yeah. And
that's another key thing about our arguments have matured. I know we're going to wrap this up. So this will be my last, and I'll let you close it out. It comes to arguments that deal with our sides of the family, not us just accusations, disagreements, and discrepancies or frustrations. An example. So on my side of the family makes an accusation towards Teresa. Oh, the reason why you didn't come out is because of her. What happened? Because here's why. We both agreed in this relationship, probably past 10 years?
10
Just
plus.
10 It was like right after a 5-year mark when we were just
It was
digging.
definitely more than 10 plus, because it was definitely before our eldest.
Yeah, it was before the kids were born, but we said and agreed we will deal with each other's side of the family.
Because unfortunately, they would have just came to me, since I'm the coordinator and I'm the female between the two of us.
Or they just didn't want to get told off by me, because I tell off anybody.
And so they would always both sides would reach out to me like, hey, there's this family event, or this is when you guys should do this, you guys should do that. And it would be overly stressful. And if we can't make it to like either side of the family's events or something, it was just easier for me to be able to tell my side of the family, like, hey, no, we're not going to be able to make it. Okay, they're not going to be like, oh, I told you, because you guys are going because of... So we split it, basically. He deals with his family, adopted and biological, and I deal with mine. So if there's events that we cannot make it, the message comes from us, and both sides of our family understands that, oh, it's not because the significant other is saying they can't go because they chose not to go. No, it's because I made the decision. We can't go because we have other family obligations, or whatever the situation may be.
And therefore, it creates less of the he, she shed by the she shall or she shall, because you've addressed it with your side of the family. No, that's not what. I'll just be like, hey, this is all that's being said. I got it handled. I've addressed it, because I will address it with my side of the family. There is no second guessing, and they can put the blame on me. You just got to be grown enough to say, you know what? Not everybody's going to get along. That's fine. Some people are going to point fingers.
Yeah.
But to prevent other arguments happening, or feel like, why is my significant attacking my side of the family? If you don't give your significant other the ammo to understand where it's coming from, but you handle that situation because that's your responsibility, he's supposed to grow and learn if you don't know. And as a husband to her, some of my family members have said something that I don't agree. And they are, in a sense, look at Teresa in some kind of way here and there. But you also know now, after 17 years, it's coming from me. It's coming from me.
Yeah. I can't say it for my side of the family. I'm pretty sure they think, oh, it's coming from you just say.
The point is, I'm aware of it. That's what I'm getting across. Because I'm aware of it, I don't take offense to it, nor do I care about it, because I don't dwell on it.
Right.
Their choices, their discrepancies have nothing to do with in this household. So going back to, even at your lowest point, the devil will go ahead and get into your household, break stuff up if you allow it to.
Yeah.
So we don't allow it to come into this household.
Message of today, still communicate. That's like the bottom line. I think that's within the underlying topic for us is communication. So you can subscribe. Again, please comment below if there's topics that you would like us to discuss. We're always discussing anything and everything. And so if there's something that you want to hear us talk about, please put it down there. So have a great rest of the day. Bye.